In the last episode of Game of Thrones, we watched Daenerys Targaryen finally make her way back to her ancestral home in Dragonstone. We see her climb the stairs, rip off Stannis Baratheon's banners, and finally make her way to the painted table. It is here where she finally says, "Shall we begin?" And this raises a lot of questions. How will she begin? How will she conquer Westeros? And this is where Tyrion comes in. If you look at the episode 2 synopsis, it says that Tyrion plans the conquest of Westeros. And this makes a lot of sense because he is the character that knows it the most. And in the teaser, we see him planning his strategy with Daenerys, Greyworm, Varys, Missande, Theon, Yara, and Ellaria Sand. And we hear Yara Greyjoy's opinion, and she would want to attack King's Landing right now. And I think that this is where Tyrion's plan comes into play.
We have an army, a fleet, and 3 dragons. We should hit King's Landing now.
I think he will immediately discourage this from happening, because in Tyrion's mind, they need to rally all of Westeros before taking the throne. And this takes us to Tyrion's strategy. And this is where he does have a huge benefit. He does know his sister, and he knows what she's capable of. He knows that the Lannisters are in debt. He knows that they're running out of resources. So he's going to wager a guess that they're going to attack Highgarden. But he also sees them as very vulnerable, because she has so much of her Lannister force in King's Landing, and she'll be using that force to attack different castles such as Highgarden. He believes that Casterly Rock will be open for attack. And since he's so confident that Cersei will never surrender, he wants to starve her of everything: her resources, her ancestral home, and her allies. Tyrion also states that he knows Cersei's the type to lash out, so he's confident that she's going to attack Dorne and Highgarden to get back at her enemies. So this is Tyrion's proposal. Tyrion thinks that they should attack Casterly Rock first, because right now there probably isn't that many men guarding it, and Tyrion knows the most efficient and effective way to take it over. Instead of attacking the castle and running a siege, he proposes that the Unsullied will use the plumbing systems of Casterly Rock. They will sneak in under the castle, make their way up into the castle walls, and then they'll let even more Unsullied through the front doors. This is an easy strategy for attack that minimalizes loss, and it can be taken over very quickly. But this attack on Casterly Rock, he's only going to use the Unsullied. The Unsullied were built for combat situations like this, but then he figures out how to best use the Dothraki. And the Dothraki fight best in sprawling fields. No army can beat the Dothraki in an open field, so he proposes that the Dothraki must attack Highgarden from the south. But in order to push the Lannisters out of Highgarden, he's going to have the Unsullied march from Casterly Rock to Highgarden. So you're going to have a pincer move with the Unsullied coming from the north and the Dothraki coming from the south, and the Lannisters will be trapped dead in the center. Tyrion also proposes that Daenerys comes and brings Drogon, to provide just support, not to attack all the soldiers. He believes that this is bad for her reputation. Burning hundreds and hundreds of people alive isn't a good reputation you want to build if you want to be the Queen of Westeros. If she burns hundreds and hundreds of people alive, she will be branded her father's daughter. She'll be branded the Mad Queen. And Tyrion believes if she wants to rule Westeros, she needs to maintain a strong reputation that people can rally behind. But then there's the Sand Snakes and the Greyjoys. Theon proposes that they leave first. They head south to Dorne to secure it, and they're going to clear the pathways for the Unsullied and the Dothraki to sail to Casterly Rock and to Highgarden. But little does Tyrion know that the Greyjoys and the Sand Snakes on their journey south are going to get attacked by Yara Greyjoy. And this will have a drastic effect on the tide of the war. Theon will just make it out alive, whereas I believe Yara and Ellaria Sand are going to be captured by Euron, and he's going to return them as a gift to Queen Cersei. You could argue that Tyrion wanted them to get captured because Ellaria Sand was the person who murdered Myrcella, Tyrion's niece. But that's the struggle between Tyrion's character. He would not risk any of his allies for his own personal gain. He wants to win the war, and I believe personally he would not sacrifice Ellaria, Theon, and Yara Greyjoy to seek vengeance. But after the attack of the Greyjoy and the Sand Snake fleet, Daenerys' luck is finally going to turn around. In episode 3, I believe we're going to see the takeover of Casterly Rock by the Unsullied force. And in episode 4, we're finally going to get the huge battle between Jaime Lannister and his army versus Daenerys. She's going to have her Unsullied waiting in the north pursuing Highgarden, and the Dothraki in the sprawling fields coming from the south. And Jaime Lannister will have nowhere to run. And I believe in this battle we will see the death of Greyworm. And I believe that this death will be enough to throw Daenerys out of her civil practices with Drogon and finally take the mantle, or gain the reputation as the Mad King's daughter, making her the Mad Queen. Because of his death, I believe she's going to burn hundreds and hundreds of soldiers. And this will have a huge negative effect on her reputation. and it will hurt her, because she wants to rule the 7 kingdoms, and a lot of those kingdoms think that she has no regard for human life. But that is it, everybody. That's how I think Daenerys will conquer Westeros, and that is Tyrion's plan. And this is a really effective plan by Tyrion, because he knows his sister so well. He knows that she lashes out, and he knows Westeros. So please leave a like and share this video. Let me know if you agree with how Tyrion will take over Westeros. I have more videos coming out of the pipeline before the premiere of episode 2. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.